Since the beginning of time, women have only wanted one thing, and it's fucking disgusting. I'm a super serious YouTuber, and I'm here to investigate the underbelly that is the sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship. So in order to prove something to somebody, I've decided to go undercover. Now, I really don't know what I'm trying to prove, or what any of this means, but who knows? Maybe I'll learn something about myself, and I'll grow as a person, although realistically I won't. So we found this new site. It's called seeking.com, and it's basically like any other run-of-the-mill dating website, except this one is exclusively for the sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship. But first, I think we have to ask ourselves, what is a sugar daddy? Well, if you've clicked on this video, you probably already know, but I'm stalling for time, so here we go. Webster's Dictionary defines a sugar daddy as a well-to-do, usually older man who supports or spends lavishly on a mistress, girlfriend, or boyfriend. So it's an old guy who spends money to be with a younger person. That's it, that's the TLDR of it. My mission, which I've chosen to accept, is to go undercover and to find out what exactly goes on behind the shadows. What exactly do they talk about? Is there actual romantic intention? Was there a second JFK gunman? All this and much more will be answered in this video. Now, any good secret undercover mission requires a good backstory. I have to disguise the fact that I'm not actually old, or that I'm not actually rich. After searching around for a new perfect identity, I decided to become Dalton, the sugar daddy for a new generation of sugar daddies. What you have to understand is that Dalton doesn't fuck about. After graduating top of his class in Harvard Uni, he would go on to work at MI6 during the Vietnam War and was part of a crack team of scientists who were able to crack the Vietnamese Enigma machine. But I didn't know where to put all that, so I guess it'd just be implied. The most important thing I found was that I really had to become the character. I had to flesh him out and really, make him seem realistic, My strategy was to cast as large of a net as possible. They're gonna have no idea what hit them. I went to as many different accounts as I could and try to flatter them. I was flattering them left and right, trying to be the realistic old man that I possibly could. But that didn't really work out that well. They'd beat me. I wasn't able to prove whatever I was trying to prove. I'm sad to say that Dalton was dead. He was killed by his own self-arrogance. He had flown too close to the sun, and he had never returned. But I wasn't done just yet. I created a new account. This time, I decided to make myself a lot more inconspicuous when I went about creating this account. I'm afraid I couldn't use Dalton. He had to go undercover one last time. And after a very, very long confirmation process, Richard Johnson was born. Richard Johnson. His name is Dick Johnson. But before we continue, let's look at the benefits of becoming a sugar daddy. I get to have up to 4 sugar babies, that's nice. No strings attached, that's very reassuring. Dick Johnson isn't here for commitment. And finally, upfront and honest arrangements with somebody who will cater to your needs. Which kind of sounds like prostitution, but whatever. Alright, so I made a second account. This time I was a lot less inconspicuous. In order to truly go undercover, I tried to make myself seem as realistic and credible as possible. Dalton was a bit too out there for my liking. I decided to be a lot more reasonable with my messages. Richard Johnson is a lot more timid of a man. He's a lot kinder. Instead of being creepy, I'm saying hello. I'm telling them how much I like to travel. Everything's just a lot more reasonable. Well, Richard Johnson woke to find 13 different girls that messaged him in the night. You should have seen the look on his face. Dick was ecstatic, completely over the moon. So far, my plan had gone completely to plan. I clicked on the first girl's message, and I can't. What the website doesn't tell you is that to read other people's messages, you have to pay $90 a month US. So obviously, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm afraid to say that just like with Dalton, they'd also defeated Richard. Unfortunately, Richard will never find love. But he'll always be in my heart. I remember the first time I ever met eyes with Richard. A beautiful, proud man on Google Images. But I guess it's time for Richard to go. He'll beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly to the past. The thing, I don't really get about the website is that in Australia, you know, prostitution is like fully legal. Like, I'm not suggesting, you know, one way or the other, I'm not advocating for anything, but like, if I was an old man trying to recapture my youth, there are ways with more guaranteed results, you know. I'm not going to spend $90 a month just so I could maybe, possibly meet up with a woman, just so I could give her even more money. So now we get up to the serious part of the video. I am a bit annoyed that I actually couldn't communicate with any of the girls. What I wanted to do was just to see how far they'd be willing to go in return for money, and to see how transparent they are with the fact that, you know, they're only there for money. I find the concept of this sort of dating app like crazy, but it's not really too surprising. The internet's a crazy, beautiful, mystical place, so I don't find the concept too weird. Although before making this video, I had no idea that these sort of sites even existed. And, you know, to be clear, I don't want to seem too harsh on the girls during the video. Like, to be fair, if I was an attractive woman and I was indifferent to this sort of thing, you know, I'd probably do it too. It's just supply and demand. And assuming that they're never in any harm, you know, I kind of respect the hustle, you know, real recognizes real and all that shit. Anyway, that's that. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you found it funny, or maybe you just pity me, consider liking and subscribing. That would really mean a lot. Anyway, my name is Conovan, and cheers.